Okay, we have Chief King on the line. So the gist is we're kind of at a loss here where the board looked at the proposals. There are a couple of concerns about specifically the Shackerly one, in particular about the lightness of the front chassis being too light for the needs of the department. There are a couple of outstanding questions here, but we did want to get you on the line to hear from you about this and to clarify anything the board might have. Okay.
So it really seems to be about the nature of the chassis, the weight of the front chassis, and various other aspects of the bid they're not the same in the different bids because it wasn't specified what we needed. And so there's a question as to whether we should choose one of these bids tonight or whether we should rebid with greater specificity in terms of the weight of the front chassis and the depth of the cab and various other considerations. So since we're having this discussion, we felt that you should have a chance to weigh in on those kinds of topics.
Okay. Excuse me, as far as I don't have the specs in front of me, so I don't know what they actually read. Nobody in the fire department is a truck engineer or designer, builder, or anything. We normally leave that up to the manufacturers themselves. The last tanker that we purchased, this was a concern of Keith Squires. They rated it for a 48,000 pounder, and Keith didn't think it was enough. The specs all had to be changed. Keith wanted a 60,000 pounder, and long story short, the truck weighs in at 42,000 pounds. It should have never been messed with in the beginning. So that's where we leave it at, is we put our trust in truck manufacturers to build the trucks for us properly. We don't know what this truck's going to weigh. They do. So we didn't address that situation because of what happened last time. So that's as far as the chassis GVWs. The upper compartments only being 14 inches, I've already spoken with VRS, and if they are to win the bid, we've actually already talked about the possibility, we've already talked about getting rid of the extended cab. We don't want the extended cab. So to keep in the truck within our length requirements, they put on, the reason they put the extended cab on the truck was because of the SCBAC. We don't need the SCBAC. We've all decided that we don't want the extended cab. So the truck, without the extended cab, the tank can be made longer, so the upper compartments can be made deeper. But this was something that was going to be discussed with the manufacturer after we chose who we were going with. E1 already had the depth already made.
So one of the concerns that I have is that we can't modify what we're buying after we approve it from an RFP. What we approve from that RFP response is what we are buying. So if we need to modify that, I'm in agreement with Cynthia that we need to go in with more specificity on how what they are responding to for a price, and it should be exact for what we want so everybody can respond with the exact same bid. And if we don't have expertise to purchasing a fire truck, I don't think that we should leave it up to a salesman at a company that wants to sell us a product to give us their expertise, because they're all going to be only an expert in their particular product that they sell. So it may behoove us to hire an engineer or a consultant to tell us specifically what we need for specifications on that truck and run the bid process. So that may be, if we're talking to spend $500,000 on a fire truck, let's spend $5,000 on somebody to write an RFP that's appropriate and make sure that we get the right vehicle for us, because it's a 15 to 20 year asset that is $500,000. Let's face it, it's a lot of money. And if we have to spend a little bit of money to make sure that we get the right thing, in my opinion, that's what we need to do. Because it doesn't sound like we have the expertise to do that, to be quite frank.
Well, I guess my rebuttal to what you just stated, you just made. I've talked to both vendors. Their RFPs and the way they look at RFPs is, and the way we've gone through is, you're just choosing a manufacturer at this point.
That's not the right way to do it.
Truck. There will be made trucks, and Todd's even acknowledged. He says, there will be some changes to the truck. Then we know there could be some extra spending on these trucks. If you're going to hire an engineer, you're going to spend thousands of dollars to hire an engineer. And you
said for yourself that we don't have the expertise to design a truck, and we're relying on the manufacturer, and that is the incorrect way to go about it.
Every fire department, or every truck we've purchased in the past.
Well, maybe we didn't do it correctly in the past, because other fire departments go out to bid very specifically, and that's what they purchase.
Matt, please let him finish.
I'd rather have this conversation I'm done on the phone. I'd rather have this conversation in person if I'm going to keep being interrupted.
Go ahead and finish, Mike.
We've never hired an engineer to spec a truck. I've been part of specking trucks. This is probably the fourth truck I've helped spec. All right. Never had to hire an engineer. We've always relied on the manufacturer's engineers to build us what we need. The last truck we purchased, somebody got involved, Yankee Squires, and oversized the rear axles because he didn't think they were correct. He was wrong. They were spec'd for 48,000-pound axles. The truck weighs 42,000 pounds. Our axles were too big. If we can't rely on the guys that are designing and building these trucks to do this for us, if we have to hire a outside engineer or somebody to spec a truck for us, I don't know how we've done so successfully in the past. I really honestly don't. I got emails read to me through one of the salesmen today. The steel being ordered for fire trucks right now isn't getting delivered till June or July. The cost of Haney reels is going up 40% in November. We've already had two metal increases, price of metal increases this year, one in the spring, one in the fall. If we continue to go these different separate routes to make sure something's okay, this $400,000 fire truck is going to cost us closer to $500,000. If we can't rely on the companies that build fire trucks for multiple departments in the area and let them use their best judgment, maybe we shouldn't be in the fire truck buying business. This has been stretched so long. This $350,000 truck a year and a half ago is now over $400,000. If you, as a select board, choose to want to hire an engineer to design this truck for us, then the choice is yours. We, as the fire department, will back off and let you guys design our truck for us. We have to put some faith in the guys that do it. The choice is yours. Let me know what you decide. I'm right here. I'm still here.